Hi, this is Richard of Ireland. Welcome to my world. Enjoy. Today's poetic dialogue is entitled, Long Live Dignity, Dignity Forever. On my carpet with lantern to foot, and floating of a May dawn on along o'er the Danube river. Now coming up on Mauthausen to my right, a small market town in Austria. Veering inland with passing o'er beautiful fields, lovely houses, and endless splendid scenery. Seeing what appears to be a runway of some sort, but now knowing it to be something else. Yes, it's what remains of the notorious concentration lager Mauthausen concentration camp. And thereover is the Todestage, dead steps, dead stairs, dead rise and fall up out of the Wiener Graben, the granite quarry, and connecting it with the camp barracks. From up here they appear to be like any other stone steps in a countryside park, for the quarry with its 3 pools of water is all May green. Could never imagine that it was once the scene of desperate happenings, a murder impasse for thousands of men of all ages. I'm not lingering here. No, I'm not, for too painful it is even to my knowledge of what took place. Need to float along, for memories, albeit they be without personal experience, are hurting me way too much. Knowledge of what happened in such places, and many such places there were, is not comparable to the personal experience of having been there. Floating on o'er neatly kept rectangular houses and numerous fenceless tilled fields. Thankfully, the thoughts are remaining behind. Coming in o'er the town of St. Jordan under Gusen, and crossing over the L569 highway, and there to my left is a tennis court and a football pitch. The town looks lovely, a very pretty Austrian town. We'll now float on back o'er the Danube, and follow with its meandering through the beautiful countryside links. What was that? Who was that? A hoarse voice is shouting up from somewhere below. Hello? Hello? Hello, you there on the carpet? The carpet has stopped in its floating. Hello? Hello? Hello, you there on the carpet? Hello? Hello? Hello, yes? Hello, you there on the carpet? Have you time a while to stay and listen to my pitiful story? The voice is coming up from the town of St. Jordan, yet, if this doesn't sound a bit strange, it seems rather to be coming up as it were from somewhere beneath the town. Good new day? Good new day, where are you? I'm down here! Deep way down here I am, in a dark tunnel beneath the town. And in a moment I'm finding myself standing in a tunnel, and without my carpet and lantern. Pitch dark it is, though seeing clearly I am. Half sitting, half leaning against the rock is a man, a haggard, cadaverous man, hardly of skin and bones. He is without a beard or hair on his head. The eyes are sunken back into their sockets. In a moment of closing my eyes and wishing, wasn't I given to seeing you floating on your lantern-lit carpet? Not knowing if you were real or of my dreams, I began to call up to you, and somehow I natively knew if you could hear me, you would heed me. Who are you? I am Father Sean of Ireland. I'm of Ireland myself, Father. Ah, sure, that will explain the native feeling then. How came you to be here, Father? In the spring of 41, and I in my 56th year of living, wasn't I happily conducting on-site research on the history of the Colegio de los Irlandes in beautiful Salamanca of Spain, when I was taken prisoner along with many Spaniards, and we were brought all the way here to Austria. The reason given for their arrest was that they had resisted the soldier Francisco Franco e Belmonte. I was arrested because I was a priest and a scholar. All of us were classed AZRs, a social Reichsfuehrer, a social prisoners delivered by Reich authorities. They drove us overland as they would a herd of cattle, transported us they did as goods in railway carriages, with we eventually winding up in KZ-Mauthausen, where immediately they put us to work in the granite quarry. Of the 700 of us that were taken in Spain, only 472 made it to KZ-Mauthausen, the rest having been murdered on the way, and their bodies discarded as nothing. Among the group were 88 elderly Spanish priests, and within the first 3 weeks in KZ-Mauthausen, 7 of them passed away due to the harshness of the labour, due to the severity of the cruelty inflicted upon them by the SS guards and the capos. 2 died on the toadstead. 1 was shot for refusing to push other prisoners to their death off the edge of the quarry, the place which the SS guards jokingly refer to as Fallschirmspringen, the spot to parachute down onto the quarry floor without a parachute. Another died under the Dolmetscher, a whip, by order of the camp commander's adjutant, SS-Hauptsturmführer Zutter. Another was hanged, and another flung by SS guards onto the electrified barbed wire surround fence. And the 7th was drowned in a barrel of water by 2 capos, while the rest of us were forced to watch. And then there was but 2 of us priests remaining. I have no idea how we managed to survive there in the quarry, for the work was unbelievably hard, breaking stones and carrying them, and dropping them while being beaten to pick them up again, and to carry them up the steps to the top. A 50-kilo rock needs a stomach as much as a back and legs to carry it. Nothing in the stomach, and the legs and the back have the greatest of difficulty. The strain is felt throughout the body. The eyes are seeing blind, and the gums are bleeding, while the collarbones are ever becoming more exposed. Oh, the terrible rasping in the throat, groaning from yourself and from those in front, beside and behind you. Thrice it happened that SS guards kicked someone kneeling on the top of the steps, which caused the falling of all back down. And they laughed and laughed at us as we struggled there below, a pile of bones and rocks knotted together by sinews. Back on our feet, stepping on 1 bloody step, then a second. Some days I counted 186 steps, another 189, and some 1,000. All day long were heard the cries of men, blasts, rock breaking, shouting of the SS guards and capos, swishing of whips, and the shots, the shots, the shots, and the shots. And there were the all too familiar screams announcing that insanity had finally taken hold of a man. A donkey braying in a caravan would sound prettier than the nightmarish screams of those once healthy men. These sounds went on all day long and deep into the night, and the night too had its sounds, the uncontrollable sobbing. And there was the wolfish barking of the dog named Lord, and the raw smells of blood, filth, sickness, smoke and death was ever in the nostrils, ever revolting the mind and stomach. If 1,000 men were sent out to work of a day in the quarry, maybe 700 to 800 would make it back alive to the barracks that night, to those freezing windowless barracks. It was extermination by hard labour, and by any other means at the discretion and the disposal of the merchant and carpenter SS-Standartenfuehrer, the camp commander, who took his orders from either the violinist SS-Gruppenführer Hiedrich or the lawyer SS-Gruppenführer Kaltenbrunner, who in turn took theirs from the chicken farmer Reichsfuehrer-SS and Chief der Deutschen Police Himmler, who in turn took his from the soldier, artist, writer, Führer und Reichsländer Hitler, who in turn was fully allowed to be what he wanted to be by the global collective of business, political and religious leaders. With the greatest of ease was he given free rein to do as he pleased. By the we leave things happen and respond way too late. And beneath the commander and his adjuncts were the SS guards and the capos, who in peaceful times were most likely ordinary everyday people, but who now, finding themselves encaged in do-or-die orders and engulfed in dreadful fears of self-preservation, did day and night behave as if they were willingly overdosing on some kind of freely available morality-insensitive hallucinogen. Yet mingling amongst them too were those whose hearts were as black as chimney soot, and whose relentless pleasure was none other than inflicting the greatest of discomfort, pain and grief. Continues in part 2.